So, you're in a relationship with a narcissist and they constantly tell you or put over to you that in some kind of way you owe them. In this video, I'm going to look at the 5 reasons why that might be. Now, if we think about narcissists, they are people that have high control needs, high needs for admiration of others, validation from others. They're very manipulative. They're very self-absorbed. Quite often when I've had people come to see me for therapy, and I describe narcissists of kind of being like their orbit personalities, and they're in the middle, like the sun, and the rest of us just have to go round and round and round them, and they get that, they understand that. And there was an interesting, I kind of thought about the term myself, but I also found there was a little kind of illustration of this in if you just look on images, you'll find exactly what I'm talking about. So, you know, the centre point is there and everybody else and everything else just has to go round them, and people get that, they understand what I'm saying when I say about an orbit personality. So, narcissists, high control, as I say, low empathy, low sympathy, low being able to put themselves in your position. But they believe everything that they tell themselves, of course, but they believe that you might owe them. And what are the reasons why they believe that? So quite often, high on the agenda, is that they believe that they have in some way or another rescued you. Perhaps you had just recently got out of a poor relationship, or you don't have very good family relationships, or work had gone wrong, or you'd moved to a new town and they kind of came into your life quite quickly. They believe that they've rescued you from a certain situation, which of course is not true. You're an adult who is capable, but the narcissistic way of things is to kind of gently, well, not even gently, the narcissistic way of things is to kind of bombard you with the undermining thoughts that you can't cope, that what was your life before them? It was a mess, and they've rescued you. If a narcissist does anything for you, be it something small on the domestic front, you know, they might clean the kitchen or the bathroom, or they might get some shopping or something. Oh my goodness me, don't you have to know about it? Well, I did this for you. I cleaned the bathroom for you. You use the bathroom as well, don't you? No, I've cleaned it for you. I've got the shopping for you. And they're just building up that bank of you owe me, and at some point, probably in the not too distant future, I'm going to call that in. I'm going to get you to do something that I want you to do that you may not want to do, and it might not be appropriate. Sometimes it might not even be legal, but I'm going to get you to do it because you owe me. Remember, I've got this bank of owings, and that's what they truly believe in their head, that you owe them and you should do that. And because they are narcissists, they cannot think outside the box. They can't think of what it might be like for you to be in that situation. They also believe that you may owe them because at some point, contrary to their actual beliefs about the situation or the people in that situation, they've been nice to people in your life. They've perhaps been nice to your family. They've been nice to your friends, your co-workers. I had a situation once where this guy was in a relationship with a very narcissistic woman, and one of the things that he was expected to do yearly was the Christmas party at work, and partners were invited, and it was largely expected. It was a bit of an old-fashioned company. It was largely expected that the girlfriends and the wives would attend with the partners. And the fuss that this poor man had to go through, and the things that he would agree to be able to get her to come with him on these events, because he had to buy her things, he had to promise her things. Every year she knew that she was going to get a new car because that was part of the payment of her doing something for him that she didn't particularly want to do. From what I could gather, it was no particular hassle for her to do it, but she saw it as an opportunity of this guy owing her, and boy, was he going to pay big time. So, you know, cars, handbags, jewellery, you know, he worked in a very kind of high-end city type company, but so money wasn't hugely an object. But believe me, he had to pay to get her to do the thing that I don't really think it was that much of a hassle to her, but she just didn't want to do it until she was paid to do it. And that's another reason that they'll put you, and, you know, throughout the entire months before and after, there was negotiation going on about what she was going to get from him. And then afterwards it was, wasn't I good? Wasn't I brilliant? I went and spoke to your boss. You wouldn't have got that promotion if I hadn't spoken to your boss. It was a good thing that I was there. I don't know why you make such a fuss. And kind of that typical projection and deflection thing that was going on from her to him. And he's like, I don't think I was making a fuss, but that's what used to go on. So being nice, in inverted commas, to work colleagues, to family, to friends, that means that you owe the narcissist. And of course, when you owe a narcissist, you owe them big time. Another thing they will do is that they believe that they have, again, inverted commas, they've taught you. You've come into their life, this mess, this myriad of confusion, of not being able to cope. And they believe that they've taught you, they've picked you up, they've kind of moulded you and put you back together. And they've taught you. And therefore, because they've done that for you, or they believe that they've done that for you, you therefore then owe them. And again, remember, with a narcissist, power, control, manipulation, self-absorption, you owe them big time. And sometimes, and I've had this with people as well, they might not kind of have the debt, if you like, called in instantly. And as I said before, it's kind of got banked. And then this is all brought out when the narcissist really wants the big thing from you. It might be that they want you to sell up. I've had that before. You know, I think you need to sell your property now and we'll get somewhere together. I don't have a property myself, but because we're getting somewhere together, and don't forget, you owe me. I picked you up. I taught you how to do all the things that I believe that I am responsible for on your behalf, then you owe me. And you've had people selling properties because they believe that what the narcissist has said about them, that they are owed that. And of course, it puts them in a really compromised financial situation, because remember, the narcissist is always trying to isolate somebody, isolate them socially, isolate them from their family, isolate them financially, because if you're isolated, then you are in the control of the narcissist, or so the narcissist believes. And the final thing that a narcissist will believe about you owing them is because they are just them. They are just the most wonderful, remember, orbit person, the sun that shines in everybody's lives. They just deserve to be able to call in stuff. It's not even banked stuff. It's not even favours. It's not even anything. It's just the fact that they are the most marvellous person in the world. And hey, why wouldn't you sell your property and move in with me and cripple yourself financially? Why wouldn't you do that? Because I'm such a great person that you're going to want to be around all the time, because they truly believe that. Narcissists are the absolute archetypes of manipulation, and if they're not getting their own way, if they don't feel that they're being able to call in the favours and get what they want from you, then they kind of turn to their usual tactics of what they'll do to punish you, what they'll do to withdraw from you, the threats. And sadly, this often does involve violence. And on my Dr. Jane site, which I put a note up there, but also there's a link down below, I've put some helplines and some help information for people that are in coercive and abusive relationships with narcissists and feel that they can't do anything to get out of these relationships. You can. There is always, always, always something you can do, even if you are the most physically isolated or geographically isolated person. There is something you can do. There is help out there. And even if it is just reaching out to another person that has endured a relationship with a narcissist and they can help you, that's a start. So please do avail yourself of the help up there. Also, get help. You know, talk to people about this. If you don't have trusted friends or family that you believe will understand where you're coming from, then get professional help. And it doesn't always have to pay, you don't always have to pay huge amounts of money for it. And if you really can't because you've been financially crippled, say from a narcissist, then just see what is out there as just information gathering and giving. There's lots of chat rooms out there that will give you tons and tons of help. You can just look at other people's experiences, because narcissistic relationships aren't healthy relationships. The narcissist is not healthy, but also the narcissist, because they're so self-absorbed in their situation, they don't really care what it's like for other people. They're high manipulators, but they hold everybody else in a low level of worth. And if you can facilitate them, and as this video is about, if you can owe them and they get something of it, hey, yeah, you might be momentarily the second best person in the world, because of course they're always the first person in the world. You might momentarily be the second best person in the world. It's not going to last, because that will soon fade, and then you're just waiting for the next time that they're going to call in their narcissistic belief that you owe them. And remember, just by being them. So those are the 5 things: that they've rescued you, that they've done something tiny, minor, small for you, but they're banking it. They were nice to somebody on your behalf and it favoured you. They taught you. They kind of picked you up. They moulded you. They taught you the right way of being. Or just by being them. Those are the 5 things that a narcissist will quite often believe about themselves, and therefore transfer that onto you, and that then equates into you owe them. And remember, you owe them big time. I would ask you to subscribe and to hit the bell button, and then the next time there is a Beyond Narcissism with Dr. Jane video, you will be the first to know. And remember, look out for the support, because it is out there for you. So until next time, thanks ever so much, and bye.